This is Ebony Chic Society. There is a woman standing in front of her mirror right now. She is over 50, she is radiant, she has lived a full and layered life. And she is looking at a blouse she thought would work. But something feels off. Not wrong exactly. Just not quite right. Not quite her. Not quite the woman she knows herself to be. Here is what nobody tells you. It is almost never you. It is almost always the blouse. And if you are a black woman over 50 who has ever felt that quiet frustration of getting dressed and not seeing your full power reflected back at you, this video is for you. Because today we are going inside your closet, inside your mirror, and inside the 7 blouse mistakes that are quietly stealing your style. Not because you are not beautiful, but because you deserve to see just how stunning you already are, every single time you get dressed. Welcome to Ebony Chic Society. The space where fashion for black women over 50 is not an afterthought. It is the main event. This is where timeless style meets melanin-rich beauty, where confidence after 50 is not something we chase, it is something we wear. If you are new here, I am so glad you found your way home. And if you have been here with us before, you already know. This community is different. This community sees you. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something. If this channel has ever made you feel seen, celebrated, or just a little more excited to get dressed in the morning, please subscribe to Ebony Chic Society right now. Tap that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Because we are building something here that you do not want to miss. Style tips, fashion inspiration, and real conversations for black women over 50 who refuse to fade into the background. We are right here, every single week. And we want you with us. Now, let us talk about these blouses. Mistake 1. Wearing blouses that are too baggy. This one is deeply personal for so many of us. Because we were taught, somewhere along the way, that loose clothing was the answer. That if we just went a size up, or chose something a little more roomy, we could hide the parts of ourselves we had been told to be ashamed of. The belly. The arms. The fullness of a body that has carried decades of living and loving and showing up. But here is the truth that Ebony Chic Society was built on. You are not something to be hidden. And baggy blouses do not hide anything. They erase you. They take your shape, your frame, your presence, and they swallow it whole. Instead of looking elegant, a blouse that is too big looks borrowed. It looks like it belongs to someone else. And you, queen, deserve clothes that belong entirely to you. Now, there is a difference between flowy and baggy. Flowy is intentional. Flowy moves with grace. Flowy gives a sense of ease and sophistication that reads luxury from across the room. Baggy is none of those things. Baggy hangs. Baggy sags. Baggy turns a beautiful woman into an afterthought. What you want instead is a blouse that schemes the body. One that acknowledges your shape without gripping it. Look for gentle darts at the waist. A curved hemline that falls cleanly at the hip. Soft structure in the back that creates definition without constriction. These small details are the difference between a blouse that works and one that works against you. And if you already own blouses that are a touch too roomy, do not give up on them yet. A half tuck in the front instantly creates a waistline. A slim, delicate belt gives you shape without effort. Layering a cropped cardigan or a tailored blazer over a looser blouse transforms the entire silhouette. Suddenly it looks polished. Suddenly it looks intentional. Suddenly it looks like you. Your blouse should frame you. It should say, look at this woman. Not, look at this fabric. Mistake 2. Blouses that are too tight or made from stiff fabric. Now we go to the other side. And this mistake is just as common, just as quietly damaging to your style. Too tight. Too stiff. Too determined to hold everything in place at the cost of your comfort and your elegance. I understand the impulse. We think that a closer fit will create the illusion of a slimmer silhouette. We hold on to a size we wore 10 years ago because letting go feels like admitting something we are not ready to admit. But when a blouse pulls at the buttons, digs into your shoulders, and makes you afraid to lift your arms, it is not flattering. It is restrictive. And nothing restricted is ever truly stylish. Tight blouses on melanin-rich skin, on the full, glorious bodies that black women over 50 tend to carry beautifully, do not slim. They highlight. They pull the fabric across exactly the places you were trying to smooth. And stiff fabrics, those unyielding cottons and heavy polyesters with no movement, create harsh boxy lines that fight against the natural softness of your body. The solution is fabric. It is always the fabric. Crepe. Viscose. Soft cotton blends. Silk. Materials with ease, with breathability, with just enough drape to skim instead of squeeze. These fabrics hang beautifully against brown skin. They catch the light the way luxury is supposed to. They allow you to move freely, which is the most elegant thing a woman can do. Here is your dressing room test. Put the blouse on. Lift your arms. Turn side to side. Take a deep breath. If you feel restricted at any point, if the blouse pulls across the bust or grips the shoulders, put it back. Your clothes should never make you feel trapped. They should make you feel free. And here is what happens when you get the fabric right. Your blouse stops looking like clothing and starts looking like style. It drapes. It flows. It moves with you the way a well-chosen piece of fashion always does. That is the Ebony Chic Society standard. And you deserve nothing less. Mistake 3. Outdated collars and necklines that close off your beauty. Your neckline is one of the most powerful tools in your wardrobe. It frames your face. It draws the eye upward. It creates the first impression before anyone even processes what you are wearing. And yet so many black women over 50 are still choosing necklines that work against them without even realizing it. Oversized pointed collars from decades past. Blouses buttoned all the way to the throat. High, stiff necklines that were once considered proper and are now doing nothing but shortening your neck and closing off your natural radiance. Your neck is elegant. Your collarbones are sculptural. Your face, framed the right way, is everything. A soft V-neck elongates. It draws the eye upward and inward. It creates a visual line that lengthens the torso and invites the gaze toward your face where it belongs. Scoop necklines do the same with a slightly softer, more feminine energy. And if you love a collar, try a mandarin collar. Clean. Architectural. Modern. It frames without overwhelming. An open neckline also does something else. It gives you room to tell your story through jewelry. A strand of pearls against deep brown skin is not just an accessory. It is a statement. A bold gold necklace catching the light at your collarbone. A silk scarf draped just so. These are the details that make an Ebony Chic Society woman unforgettable. Do not let an outdated neckline close off the most expressive part of your presence. Open it up. Let yourself be seen. And while we are here, if you are finding value in what we are building together, I want to encourage you again to subscribe to Ebony Chic Society. Because this kind of fashion conversation, one that speaks directly to black women over 50, that honors your beauty and your experience, it is exactly what we deliver here every single week. Hit that subscribe button. You belong in this community. Mistake 4. Prints that overpower instead of elevate. Prints are one of the most joyful parts of fashion. Bold. Expressive. Full of personality and cultural richness. And black women have always known how to wear a print with authority. But there is a difference between wearing a print and being worn by one. When a print is too large, too loud, too busy, it stops being fashion and starts being noise. The eye has nowhere to land. It scatters across the fabric looking for a focal point and never finds your face. And if the colors in that print do not complement your melanin, if they are draining rather than warming, the whole effect works against the very beauty it should be celebrating. The secret is scale and intention. Smaller, more refined prints are almost always more flattering on mature frames. A delicate floral. Subtle geometric lines. A muted abstract pattern in jewel tones. Sapphire. Emerald. Deep burgundy. Warm amber. These colors were made for brown skin. They do not wash you out. They ignite you. If you love a bold print, anchor it with solid bottoms. Let the blouse be the statement and give it space to breathe. That is how you wear a print with elegance rather than chaos. And for those of you who love animal prints, because we do not abandon them. Just choose them in refined, muted colorways rather than heavy contrasting patterns. A subtle leopard in warm tobacco tones against dark skin is not loud. It is sophisticated. It is Ebony Chic Society. The goal is always this. The print should enhance your beauty, not compete with it. Mistake 5. Blouses that are too long and drag down your proportions. Here is a styling truth that surprises many women the first time they hear it. When your blouse is too long, your legs disappear. And when your legs disappear, your entire silhouette shrinks. Tunic-length blouses that cover the hip and fall toward mid-thigh feel safe. They feel modest. They feel like they are doing the work of concealing. But what they are actually doing is dragging the eye downward, hiding your natural proportions, and making you appear shorter and heavier than you are. You are not someone to be compressed. You are someone to be elongated. The most flattering blouse length for most women over 50 sits right at the hip bone or just below it. This length frees the leg line. It creates a visual balance between your upper and lower body that reads as elegant, modern, and intentional. If you love a longer silhouette, here is how to make it work for you. Pair it with slim, tailored trousers or straight leg pants. The contrast between a longer blouse and a clean leg line restores your proportions. Try the French tuck, where just the front hem is loosely tucked in, giving the illusion of a waist without sacrificing the relaxed feel of the blouse. A slim belt at the natural waist transforms a long blouse into something architectural and chic. Think of your blouse hemline as a decision. Where it ends is where the eye goes. Choose an ending that sends the gaze upward, toward your face, toward your presence, toward you. Mistake 6. Ignoring the power of sleeve style. Sleeves are not a small detail. Sleeves are a statement. And many black women over 50 are either suffering through sleeves that grip the upper arm and draw attention to insecurities, or drowning in sleeves so wide and dramatic that the blouse itself becomes a costume rather than a garment. Both extremes miss the mark. And both can be corrected with one simple principle. Choose sleeves that end at your most graceful point. The 3/4 sleeve is one of the most universally flattering cuts in fashion. It ends just below the elbow, exposing the slimmest part of the forearm, showing a flash of wrist, which has always been one of the most quietly elegant details a woman can reveal. It creates a clean, tapered line that reads refined and intentional. Flutter sleeves add movement without adding bulk. They soften the shoulder and give the blouse a lightness that feels both feminine and sophisticated. A gentle gather at the cuff of a longer sleeve can also break up the visual line beautifully without adding heaviness. And if you own blouses with sleeves that are just slightly too long, roll them. A neat roll to just below the elbow instantly modernizes a blouse and lightens the entire look. It takes 10 seconds and it makes you look like you dressed with intention. Sleeves either frame your arms with grace or they fight against them. Once you understand which sleeve shapes work for your body, you will never look at a blouse rack the same way again. Mistake 7. Settling for poor fabric quality. We have arrived at the one that ties everything together. Because you can have the perfect cut, the ideal length, the most flattering neckline, and still walk out of the house looking underdressed if the fabric is wrong. Cheap fabric communicates something. It says this was an afterthought. And you are never an afterthought. Shiny synthetic materials that cling where they should drape. Stiff polyesters that hold their shape but fight against yours. Thin fabrics that pull and shift throughout the day. These are the fabrics that make even a beautiful woman look like she just grabbed something off a rack and settled. You are a black woman over 50. You have not spent a lifetime developing your taste, your instincts, your sense of self, to settle. Natural fibers breathe. They move. They sit on brown skin the way fabric was always meant to sit. Soft linen in warmer months. Silk crepe for evenings and elevated moments. Lightweight wool blends for structure with comfort. Cotton with a touch of stretch for everyday ease that never looks casual. These are the fabrics that make your blouse look twice as expensive as it cost and make you feel the way every Ebony Chic Society woman deserves to feel. Effortlessly polished. Texture matters too. A blouse with a subtle sheen, a soft rib weave, a matte crepe finish, adds dimension and richness to an outfit without loudness. What you want to avoid is anything plasticky, anything that reflects harshly under light, anything that makes your skin look dull instead of glowing. Here is your golden rule. If the fabric feels good against your skin, it will almost always look good on your body. Touch everything before you buy it. Trust what your hands tell you. Invest in fewer pieces made from better fabric and you will always have more to wear. That is the difference between a wardrobe and a collection. So here we are. 7 blouse mistakes. 7 quiet thieves that have been stealing your style without your permission. Too baggy. Too tight. Outdated necklines. Overwhelming prints. Lengths that compress your proportions. Sleeves that do not flatter. And fabric that does not honor the woman wearing it. Every single one of these has a fix. And now you know what it is. But I want to leave you with something beyond the fashion tips. Because Ebony Chic Society was never just about clothes. It was always about the woman wearing them. You are in the most powerful chapter of your life. You have perspective that cannot be bought. You have style that cannot be faked. You have a presence that walks into rooms before you do. And the way you dress should reflect every bit of that. The world has spent a very long time telling black women over 50 to make themselves smaller. To fade gracefully. To stop taking up space with bold colors and strong silhouettes and confident choices. Ebony Chic Society exists to say the opposite. Loudly. Clearly. Without apology. You do not dress down as you get older. You dress up. You dress with more intention. More confidence. More knowledge of exactly who you are and what you deserve to wear. So go back to your closet this week. Look at your blouses with new eyes. Ask each one. Does this frame me or does it diminish me? Does this honor my shape or does it hide it? Does this reflect the woman I am today? Keep the ones that say yes. Release the ones that say no. And replace them slowly, thoughtfully, with pieces that carry the Ebony Chic Society standard. Quality. Elegance. Intention. Power. If this video spoke to you today, please give it a like. It helps more black women over 50 find this community, and that is exactly what we are here for. And if you are not yet subscribed to Ebony Chic Society, now is the moment. This is where timeless style, mature women's fashion, and the full celebration of black women over 50 lives. Every video we create is made for you. Subscribe, turn on your notifications, and never miss a conversation that was built with you in mind. Drop a comment below and tell me. Which one of these 7 mistakes have you been making? And which tip are you taking straight to your closet tonight? I read every single comment. This community is real and your voice matters here. You are not too old. You have never been too old. You are exactly the right age to look absolutely breathtaking. This is Ebony Chic Society. And we will see you in the next one.